Hey guys, it's Belle, and in this video we are going to be reading through and translating a commentary or a sort of explanation on the Psalms, which was done by St. Augustine of Hippo. And the explication we're going to be looking at in this video is that for Psalm 4 verse 8, and these are done as companion videos to my video reading through the Old Saxon Psalm commentary fragments, which I believe draw quite heavily from Augustine's commentary. So I'll put a link to that in the description if you want to have a look at that. So as usual with these videos, if you want to pause the video and have a go at translating the Latin on your own using the gloss provided, feel free to do so, and then you can check it against what I say. And without further ado, let's read through the Latin. Sed homines temporalias sectantes, qui certe multi sunt, nell'aliud noverunt dicere, nisi quis ostendit nobis bona, cum vera et certa bona intersem et ipsos videre non possint, itaque consequenter Deis rectissime dicitur, quod adiungit a tempore frumenti vini et olei sui multiplicati sunt. Non enim vacat quod aditum est sui, est enim et frumentum Dei, si quidem est panis vivus qui de cielo descendit. Est et vinum Dei, non inebriabuntur inquit, ab ubertate domus tuae. Est et oleum Dei, de quo dictum est, impinguasti in oleo caput meum. Istiatem qui multi sunt, qui sostendit nobis bona dicunt, et regnum celorum intra se esse non vident. A tempore frumenti vinere lei multiplicati sunt. Okay, awesome. So what does all of this mean? And just a quick note I should have said at the beginning, these little tags in between brackets, these weren't written originally in the manuscripts. These are sort of references to the quotations that Augustine is referencing, which he just quotes in the text. So, the actual verse of Psalm 4:8 that St. Augustine is referring to is this line, A tempore frumenti vini et olei multiplicati sunt, which means they are multiplied from the time or by the time of their grain, wine, and oil. And this is famously known as the Mediterranean triad, right? The sort of staples of the Mediterranean diet. So he starts off saying, Sed homines temporalia sectantes. But these men who are following, temporalia means like temporary things, so referring to the world. Qui certe multi sunt, and there are certainly many of them. Nil aliud noverunt dicere. They have found nothing else to say, nisi, except qui sostendit nobis bona, who sort of shows us good things. And Augustine is probably sort of, I guess, nodding towards Cicero's cui bono when he mentions this. Cum vera et certa bona intersemet ipsos videre non possint. Since they cannot see, cum videre non possint, because cum, when you have a subjunctive afterwards, implies since or because. So because they cannot see, intersemet ipsos, among themselves, vera et certa bona, the true and righteous good things. And this could in part be referring to, I'm forgetting which verse it is in the Bible, but Jesus saying that the kingdom of heaven is among you. And so Augustine is saying that they're not seeing how good like each other's company is and humanity is because they're so obsessed with profit and material wealth. Itaque consequenter Deis rectissime dicitur. So therefore, in following, it is most correctly said about these things, quod adiungit, or that which adds on, or that which says, a tempore frumenti vinere lei sui multiplicati sunt, they are multiplied by the time of their grain, wine, and oil. So Augustine is saying that these people who are in the world are just obsessed with profits, and that's why it's correctly said in the psalm they are increased by the time of the grain, wine, and oil. Non enim vacat quod aditum est sui. It is not like it is not lacking, basically, when it adds sui, this like, to the olehi sui. Es enemet fermentum Dei, for it is also the wheat of God, si quidem est panis vivus quide cielo descendit, which indeed is, who indeed is the living bread which comes down from heaven. So basically, Augustine is saying that this can also apply in a religious context as well. Est et vinum Dei, it's also the wine of God. Nam inebriabuntur, and this is referring to another part of the psalm, inquit ab ubertate domus tue, they are inebriated by the excess of their house. So he's saying that, like, God's abundance and mercy can sort of almost have an intoxicating effect, and therefore the part of the psalm that talks about wine is not necessarily exclusively talking about secular people. And then est et oleum Dei, it's also the oil of God, concerning which is said, impiguasti in oleo caput meum. You have anointed my head in oil. So Augustine here is saying that these three things, the wheat, the wine, and the oil, can be interpreted in a religious as well as a secular context. Isti autem multi qui dicunt, qui sostendit nobis bona. So indeed, these many people who say, who will show us good things, et regnum caelorem intra se esse non vident, and do not see that the kingdom of God is among them, artem pore fermenti lei multiplicati sunt. They are multiplied by the time of wine, wheat, wine, and oil. So it's like, Augustine is saying here that this can be read in both a secular and a religious sense, basically, is what this is saying. And then his last bit about Psalm 4:8, I'll read the Latin verse. Non enim multiplicatio semper ubertatem significat, et non plerumque exiguitatem, cum deitatem moralibus voluptatibus anima semper exarrescit cupiditate, nec satiari potest, et multiplici atque ardum nossa cogitatione distenta, simplex bonum videre non sinitur, qualis est illa de quadicitur, corpus enim quod corrumpitur aggravet animam, et deprimit terrena inhabitatio sensum multa cogitantem. Talis anima temporalium bonorum descensione et successione, id est a tempore frementi viniet olei sui, innumerabilibus completa phantasmatibus sic multiplicata est, ut non possit agere quod preceptum est, sentite de Domino in bonitate et in simplicitate cordis querite illum. Ista enim multiplicitas, illi simplicitati vehementer adversa est, et ideo istis delictis qui multi sunt, multiplicati cilicet temporalium cupiditate et dicunt, qui sostendit nobis bona, que non oculis foris, sed intus cordis simplicitate querenda sunt. Vir fidelis exultat et dicit, in pace in ipsum obdormiam et somnium capiam. Alright, so what does this mean? Non enim multiplicatio semper ubertatem significat. So multiplication does not always imply excess. Et non plerumque exiguitatem. And most of the time it doesn't even imply a sort of grievous excess or necessity. Cum deditatem poralibus voluptatibus anima, since the emotional mind or one's mood, delita, which has been given over temporalibus voluptatibus to temporary desires, semper exarrescit cupiditate, it always burns up in its cupidity or its desire, nec satiari potest, nor can it be satisfied, et multiplici atque ardum nossa cogitatione distenta. And it is, it is swelled up with with various and roomy, basically, or excessive thinking. So this is perhaps implying that people who are overtaken by desire and lust will always try to find rational justifications for their desires. And because of all of this, simplex bonum videre non sinitur. It is not able, the emotional mind of somebody who's taken over by temporary lusts, is not able to see the simple good which is already among them. Qualis est illa de quadicitur. Such is that mind about whom it is said, corpus enim quod corrumpitur aggravat animam. A body which is corrupted aggrieves the mind, et deprimit terrena in habitatio sensum multa cogitante. And a sort of dwelling in the earth, because remember, Christians are supposed to be of the world, but in the world, but not of it. So a terrestrial habitation oppresses the sensus, means the sort of thought or one's intellect, cogitantem, contemplating multa, contemplating many things. So this is actually a sort of advocacy for Christian simplicity, even perhaps intellectual simplicity, despite the fact that Augustine himself was a very intelligent philosopher and writer. It's sort of saying here that getting one's head caught up in the clouds too much, which is sort of implied here with arum nossa cogitatione, can sort of distract one from seeing the good that's in our everyday lives. Talis anima temporalium bonorum decessione et successione completa sic multiplicata est. So such a soul is multiplied with the departure and the arrival, decessione et successione, temporalium bonorum, of temporary goods. That is, from the time of wheat, wine, and oil. Innumerabilibus completa phantasmatibus, complete by, or filled up even, with various ghosts, even spirits, such that ut non possit agere quod preceptum est, such that such a mind cannot enact that which is preached. Sentit hele Domino in bonitate, et in simplicitate cordis querdite illum. Sort of, I guess, feel or obey the Lord in goodness, et in simplicitate cordis querdite illum, and seek him in simplicity of heart. Issa enim multiplicitas illi simplicitati vehementer adversa est. For this multiplicity is violently opposed, illi simplicitati, to that simplicity. So this is Augustine explicitly saying that, like, a very complex understanding of the world and, like, an abundance also of material things is opposed to the sort of Christian simplicity and a pure contemplation of God. Et ideo istis relictis qui multi sunt. And therefore, with leaving aside those many people, multiplicati scilicet temporalium cupiditate et dicunt, they are multiplied, namely, in their desire for temporary things, and they say, who will show us good things? Que non oculis foris, sed intus cordis simplicitate querenda sunt. Those things which are not away from one's eyes, or sort of are not visible to one's eyes, said intus cordis simplicitate, but within the simplicity of one's heart, querenda sunt, those things which are to be sought, vir fidelis exultat et dicit. The faithful man will exult and say. So basically, the faithful man will big up, or will seek out those things which are found in simplicity of heart. Et dicit, and he will say, in pace in ipsum oblormiam et somnium capiam. In peace, in that itself, I will fall asleep and I will take my rest. And this, of course, is elaborated on later on in Psalm, I believe, 5. So there we go. That was the video. I hope you guys enjoy it, and I hope you guys do check out, when it comes out, the Old Saxon Psalm commentary video. I know this is the first video I've made after a long absence on my channel. I have had some medical issues that I've been dealing with, and that's made it harder to record videos. I'm still a little bit struggling to record videos, but getting back into it, and hopefully 2003 will be a good year. Thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you to my lovely 4 patrons who keep me going. If you want me to teach you Latin so that you can read this kind of stuff yourself, you can subscribe to my Patreon, where we offer tuition at lower than market rates. You can also join my Discord server, where I will answer questions about Latin stuff when I get the time for it, but I can't give you any guarantees about when I'll be able to answer your questions. And we also just have a fun community of like-minded people. We actually now have some competent Latin speakers who could help you out even when I'm not around. So it's a fun community of like-minded people who have chats about medieval stuff. You should come and join us. It's a good time. Until next time, like, comment, subscribe. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope you have a nice day. Bye, everyone.